Hi, welcome back to the Cambridge ADU. I'm Pete Ferrero, production manager at Auburndale Builders. We've made some great progress in the past few months. Let's go downstairs in the basement and check out the MEPs. Why don't we start off in the mechanical room? It's the lungs of the building here. Big shout out to Mouradian Plumbing and Heating and also Needham Mechanical working in concert to really pull this off. We're very limited for space and they did a fantastic job. So we've got an electric hot water heater here. The reason we didn't use a heat pump unit in here is we're just very limited on space in this particular mechanical room. It's quite small, so there's not enough cubic volume in here, and this room would end up being very, very chilly. City of Cambridge mandates fossil free, so that explains why we went with a traditional unit, but it's got smart controls in it, so it's extremely efficient. That's about it for hot water heaters. The exciting part in here is this ERV. So it's made by Panasonic. You can see this labyrinth of intake and exhaust lines. So the reason that we have an ERV is to provide fresh air and exhaust stale air because the house is airtight. We're building to passive house specification. Although we're not going for certification, it's still built to that specification. So the house needs to breathe as well as the occupants of the house. So this provides that mechanism. We like to use HEPA filters in our ERVs, although they can be quite costly to replace. So what we typically do on all of our projects is we install a pre-filter box. This one happens to be made by Fantech. There's a MERV 13 filter in this one. So as air is coming from the exterior, it's passing through the pre-filter to catch some of the larger airborne contaminants to help protect the expensive filters that are in the Panasonic. So this is currently set up with the MERV 13 filter in it. So in the event of wildfire smoke, it's becoming more prevalent in the Northeast. The MERV 13 filter cannot trap that smoke. So that's one of the reasons we use this Panasonic unit, because it does have the option for the HEPA filters. It's quite easy to replace these MERV 13s, and it can filter that smoke out of the air to provide clean air for the occupants of the structure. So that wraps it up for the mechanical room. Let's work our way into the finished basement space. We're gonna have a home gym, some storage, small office, wood storage down here in the vestibule for the wood fireplace upstairs. We'll get to that in a few minutes. But right here, I'd like to point out the dehumidification system here for the whole house. So this services basement, first floor, and second floor, and it greatly increases the efficiency and the comfort of your HVAC system throughout the year. So for example, in the summertime, you can crank the humidity down to say 51%, 52%. Your set point on your thermostat could be as high as 75 and you'll feel very comfortable. So it does save energy from that perspective because you don't have to run your AC so cold. You've got to pull the humidity out of the house. And another benefit to this system is it's good for the house as well as the occupants. So keeps the moisture out of the house, minimizes mold, nasty smells, you name it, dehumidification. It's a must in my book. So let's come out of the crawl space into the actual space that we're going to dehumidify. So this here is the supply to the room, to the entire basement from the dehumidifier. The intake is located over here. So this air goes up through here, passes through the ductwork, goes through the dehumidification system, supplies dry air set to whatever your comfort level is. And then over here, we've got our ERV supply for the entire room. So this grill will force air to the floor and circulate. And the exhaust is located here. So this exhaust goes back to the unit, and then from the unit passes to the exterior. So let's head down to the far end of the basement here. So you can see we've got a Mitsubishi ceiling cassette here. So the primary reason why we've got a ceiling cassette here as well as the first floor above us is just due to space constraints. A ducted system wasn't feasible due to the size and the layout of this particular space. So this will provide heating and cooling. And then last but not least, in the basement, we've got something down here, pretty fun, pretty necessary. We've got this relay which controls makeup air, fresh air intake to the cooktop. We've got an electric induction cooktop in the kitchen. We've fabricated a custom grill behind the cooktop to match the style and finish of the Wolf cooktop. So when you turn on that blower, this relay opens, goes outside, pulls fresh air into the house because we're airtight and works great. It's fully automated. There's nothing the homeowner needs to do except turn on the range hood when they're cooking, and that's it. This is fully automatic. So we've got LED lighting throughout the house. It's controlled by this Lutron homework system installed by Symmetry Electric and HEDnorth. So it's really awesome because it allows the homeowner to access the app. He can control all his lighting, his window treatments. He can control the ERV if there's an event and he needs to put it into boost mode, something to that effect. Another good feature of the Lutron homework system is switching is very much minimalized. So in other words, if we needed a 4-gang or a 6-gang box for many switches, we can eliminate that. We have eliminated that. So there's a single control pad that acts as multiple switches, and it's fully programmable. So really neat, clean, modern, high-tech way to control all your lighting throughout the house. Right next to it, you'll see, last thing down in the basement before we head upstairs, our radon mitigation system. So this is piped under the floor. Obviously, this is a standard feature of Auburndale builders. We put it in whether we need to or not because it's really tough to do afterwards. We do test for radon after the house is done and occupied for a while and all sealed up. And then we set the fan speed accordingly. So let's move up to the first floor from the basement. I'm going to stop on the stairwell here. I'll show you this. This is dehumidification intake air. So air is going in here from the first and the second floor, and that satisfies the entire building above us. Let's work our way, finish up the ERVs. So ERV supply is over my head here in the kitchen. That's the only one on this floor. It's a relatively small space. And if you look on top of the bathroom door, you'll see a transfer grill with sound attenuation in it. So this door is going to be closed most of the time. So the air passes through that transfer grill. Mirror image on this side. The exhaust port is in the bathroom. That goes back to the ERV. And then outside, it's running 24/7. This place is a super comfortable space to live in. All right, so let's continue on the makeup air for the range hood. So over my head here, we've got the exhaust port, which will be connected to the actual range hood. It's rated at 300 CFM. So why that's important is because building science professionals tell us that 2/3 of that air volume should be at the source. So we've got our induction cooktop right here. We've got a custom grill made. So that will actually provide fresh air in. It's coming in here. It's going out the exhaust port. The remaining 1/3 or 100 CFM is over my head here to balance out the room pressure so we don't depressurize the structure. And keep rolling. So the last fun bit of fresh air into this airtight house is we've got a PAX Focus fireplace here. You can see over my head the chimney that goes up and out through the roof. Here's our mounting plate, but this is our fresh air intake here. So again, when the fireplace is activated, there's a wall switch. It's manual in this case because we've got a wood-burning fireplace. So the homeowner will turn on a wall-mounted switch. There is a damper, low-voltage damper in there. So that opens and it allows combustion air for the fireplace to balance out the room pressure so we don't depressurize this space, and so the fireplace functions as designed. We've got the Durarock, the steel studs, and the rock wool insulation behind this to meet fire code. So that has been prepped, and we're ready to go. We're gearing up to insulate this place with timber HP. Timber fill will be installed. It'll be dense packed in all the wall cavities. If you recall, the roof assembly was done a couple of months ago. So we're excited to get finishes installed in this ADU. We've got a Mitsubishi ceiling cassette here. Before we head upstairs, I want to show you this wall. So we're in the kitchen. This is the old gable end to the house. When we tore the existing barn off of this and exposed this whole thing, it was super challenging. It required a lot of structural coordination, as well as, you can see, countless amounts of mechanical systems. So a couple miles of wire. That, as I mentioned earlier, is our radon mitigation. We've got water lines, sewer lines in here. This is wrapped in sound deadening rubber because it backs up to the existing house. We've got ERV supplies and returns, line sets for the HVAC system, more wires, more pipes, more line sets, more water lines. There's a laundry room behind us, ERV exhaust. So this took a substantial amount of time It's very impressive. It'll be invisible when the place is done, but I just wanted to show you what could be done in very limited space and a lot of coordination. Let's head upstairs. Wow, does it get quiet when we shut these Schuco windows. So we're back here. I'm directly above the kitchen. This is more of the wall of coordination here with 100 pounds of mechanicals in a 40-pound space, but we pulled it off, thank you to the team. So something unique to this build, it's a relatively small footprint, but over my head here, we've got 2 air handlers. And the reason we've done that for this space, I'm currently in the guest bedroom. Down the other end of the building is the primary suite. It's a southwest exposure on the primary suite, so historically, and we record our data after our builds, we've got a huge heat gain, a huge solar gain over there, so it's really tough to balance in these shoulder seasons that we're in right now, early fall. So that room could experience, heat gain and get too hot. The guests in here are going to be over chilled. So we've got 2 systems for 2 bedrooms. So pretty unique, but it works out very well. So in the guest bedroom here, we've got a single ERV supply. We've got 2 HVAC supplies and a single HVAC return. Moving down the hallway here, we've got our laundry area, you can see, set up, so super convenient to have that on the living level here, on the bedroom level rather. If you're wondering what this is, we have pre-framed this section of wall right down through the first floor. This piece of floor is removable, so if they do need accessibility mechanisms, this is set up to take a lift in the house. It's already been pre-designed, pre-engineered, so if they want to do that 20, 30 years down the road, they can take care of that. Walking into the bathroom here, you'll see a transfer grill. It's a little tough to picture, but I'm standing in the doorway here. This is a pocket door. It would slide to my left. This is a transfer grill for the ERV exhaust. So as we come into the bathroom, if you look over my head, you'll see 2 grills. One is an ERV exhaust. We always put them in the bathroom, and the other one is HVAC supply for this room. As we transition down the hallway here, use your imagination a little. I'm entering the primary suite through this pocket door, and we are greeted by some beautiful Schuco windows. As you can see by my height, they are very tall. They're 10 feet of window here. So the solar heat gain is pretty substantial. So the explanation earlier, you can now understand why it's so necessary to have 2 separate systems here. You can see the low voltage wiring here for our shade control, again, controlled by the Lutron Homeworks. We've got HVAC supplies overhead, as well as fresh air provided from the ERV. We move past another really nice Schuco window. Super nice. They are tilt turn. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but we can do that. We can leave these open in a rainstorm, get plenty of ventilation, drainage channels. We're all set. We don't have to worry about the water coming in the house. So off of the primary suite, we've got the primary closet, plenty of lighting, HVAC supply in here. You can see our framework for our chimney, for our PAX Focus fireplace downstairs. Plenty of lighting in here. We will have some custom built-in cabinets with lighting in the closet here. Let's go jump outside. I'll show you the fresh air intake and the exhaust for our ERVs and our makeup air for the range hood. All right, as we exit our not Schuco door, as you can see, let's walk around the corner and take a look at our fresh air intake for our PAX Focus wood-burning fireplace. So here it is. Again, this is triggered by a relay switch by the homeowner directly. Zender grill, beautifully crafted by Zen, the project manager here. Let's go around the corner. There's more intakes and exhausts. So as you can see, we are tight to building lines here. So we've got our intake air grills here mounted on the side of the house. This one is for the ERV, serves the entire house. This one, if you recall, is for the makeup air for the range hood. So this is completely passive. When that range hood is turned on, we just draw fresh air in through here and distribute it through the house. As we walk down this direction, you can see directly over my head, there's an 8-inch vent. That is the range hood exhaust. And then last on the list here is the exhaust for the ERVs. It's located here because of the proximity to the neighbor's house. So we wouldn't wouldn't want the intake here. We don't want to draw in fumes from the car if he's barbecuing or whatever is going on. So that is the reason that the exhaust is located way down here. And with that, that wraps up the MEP walkthrough at the Cambridge ADU. I hope this has been informational for you and you see how we like to do things at Auburndale Builders. Thank you very much. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.